Now, most men are angrier nowadays than they've ever been in their whole lives, and most of them don't even know why. And the craziest part is when you press them on it, they'll give you some bullshit surface level answer like politics or the economy or their job. But people, I can tell you that's not really it. Those are just the things that they're aware of, things that they can put their finger on. They can't really locate the real reason, but I can tell you it runs a whole lot deeper than that. The real problem is, people, no one likes being manipulated. And yes, gentlemen, make no mistake about it, we are all being manipulated each and every single day, even if you don't realize it. The thing is, our body knows it. It feels it because that's where all that stress and tension and anger, that's where it lives. So now it's like we're still riding in the car, right? But we're not really in control of it anymore. And here's the one thing that most people miss. All that anger and stress and tension, that's not random, people. It is not just randomly occurring. It's being manufactured and it's being weaponized and against the wrong targets. You see, people, in spite of what you've been told or what you believe, well, we're not enemies. We've just been led to believe that we are, when in reality, it's the powers that be. Those are our real enemies. We're just so busy fighting each other, man, that we can't see that they're laughing all the way to the bank, man, with our money. You ever stop to ask yourself something? Who's really profiting from keeping us so divided in this country? Because here's what they figured out a long time ago, that if they can keep us mad at each other, we'll never be able to put our focus on them. We'll waste all our energy down here fighting each other. Boom, 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 boom. Instead of focusing and asking those real hard questions that need to be asked and need to be answered. And people, my God, it's working. It's working perfectly. It seems like each and every fucking day I wake up that they've given us something new to divide us, something for us to fight and be angry over. Red versus blue, this group versus that group, this belief versus that belief. And while we're busy arguing with each other, right? I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. They're still hard at work making decisions behind the scenes about our lives. And we're having no say so whatsoever in it. Like, where's our tax money going? Right? Who gets the tax breaks and who gets the higher tax bill? And here's the part that we're not privy to either. This whole system that I'm talking about, people, this whole thing runs on fear. Our fear. Now, as hard as it may be to believe, we as men, we have a lot of fears. More than most of us would care to admit. We have fear of failure, a fear of being replaced, a fear of silence. Now you go and you stack all those fears on top of each other, right? And you know what you've got? You got a bunch of men out here running around feeling so fucking insecure about themselves and their place in this country that they never take the time to question who's really pulling those strings. You guys getting uncomfortable out there yet? I hope so. And stop and think about this for a minute. That guy across the aisle from you, right? Doesn't matter which side of the aisle you sit on. Across the aisle from you. That one that you hate so fucking bad, right? Guess what? What if I were to tell you that he's worried about the same exact stuff that you are? Because guess what? Newsflash, his bills are going up too. And he's wondering if his job is even going to be there next year, just like you were. And he's over there right now trying to figure out how he's going to pay for his kids' meds this month. Same as you were. And I bet you never quite thought about it like that before, have you? Oh, and that woman at the grocery store, the one in front of you cutting out fucking coupons, and you're thinking to yourself, I wish she hurried the fuck up. She's not your enemy either, bro. She's just trying to stretch her paycheck just like everybody out here in this fucked up economy. Same struggles, just a different person. Starting to see the pattern yet? None of these people are the problem, are they? Nope. Then I want you to ask yourself this. How did this idea that they're the enemy or that they're the problem or that they created the problem get planted in your head? And by who? Because we have a lot more in common than most of us care to realize. Or should I say, than they let us realize. You see, they need for us to lose sight of that fact, people. They want us to see each other as threats. They don't want us to look at each other as allies. And every single fucking time we take the bait, hook, line, and sinker, because they know that if they can keep us distracted, right, they can control all of us, not just a portion of us, all of us, on both sides. And again, I believe the government is one bird. Whatever happened to that old saying? Am I my brother's keeper? I can remember a time, man, when that saying meant something. That used to be the code of how we lived as men in this country. Everybody looking out for each other. Not now. Nowadays, man, everything has gotten so fucked up and turned around that we don't even see our neighbors as brothers anymore. We see them as a threat or as the enemy. When did that be? When did that happen? But people are not. They're going through the same exact shit that all of us are. Stop and think about this for a minute for me. Say gas prices were to shoot up overnight over, say, 75 cents, which hell, they really could in this economy. Was your neighbor the one who decided to go and raise those prices? And did the guy you work with pocket that money from the price increase? No, of course he didn't. But that's who we're going to blame. And have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why do we do that? Why do we blame them when we know they don't have any control over it? Because it's easier. It's easier to yell at the people that we can see than to try to actually go and figure out who's really behind this shit. Our minds love easy answers to complex problems. The problem with that is a lot of times those answers that we receive are dead wrong. Stop and think about how much time you probably wasted getting all worked up about some online argument with somebody you probably didn't know, about some shit that didn't change a damn thing in your everyday life. You see, people, that's the trap. Because the whole system is predicated and works on our division. That's exactly what they want. They want all of us angry and tired and constantly at each other's throats. And we do it. They know that tired, angry people ask less questions. They're less focused. They tend to just go along with whatever stories fucking handed to them. And then you got to stop and ask yourself, who's feeding you all these stories? And why? Because we know news channels make more money when people are outraged. That's why they run the kind of stories that they run. And we scroll more on social media when we're pissed off. That's why we constantly see that stuff to keep us pissed off. Oh, and politicians learned a long time ago that they get way more votes when people are scared. So a lot of them run on platforms of fear. So again, people, like I said, the whole damn system runs on our fears and division. You start to get a clear picture of why we're kept angry so much, huh? Good. But here's what they don't want us to really go and figure out either, people. They don't want us to figure out that we're really not all that different. I mean, in reality, most people that I know want the same basic shit, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. A decent job that pays a decent wage to pay your bills, right? Safe neighborhood for your family and your kids to go outside and fucking play and you can live in without a lot of crime. And a chance for our kids to do better than we did. American dream, remember? And that's not a Republican thing or a Democratic thing. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. That's a human thing. We all want that for our families and for ourselves. And in the moment that we all get together and realize this and stop infighting with each other so much, man, and start to actually look up where our problems are, those motherfuckers going to have problems. Because then and only then, we might start to ask those hard questions, man, that really need answers. They really do. Like, who actually voted to raise taxes? Who decided to close that factory and send those jobs overseas, and why? And why hasn't anything been done on the infrastructure bill yet? You see, people, these are the type of questions, those hard questions that scare the shit out of the establishment. So here's what I propose we do, and this is just my proposal. We got to stop blaming our problems on people who didn't create them. Put that blame where it really belongs. And when something makes you mad, and it's going to, we need to stop for a minute, take a chill pill. Think to yourself, who really benefits from me getting pissed off at this guy? As opposed to me really doing a deep dive and finding out who really caused this problem. And we need to start following the money again too, people. That'll lead you to who's doing what every single fucking time. Who's making decisions, who's profiting from our losses, who they're representing, who they're getting money from. We need to know this kind of shit, man. And we need, again, I'll say this again, we need to remember something. The people around us, no matter where they're from, no matter skin color, no matter political affiliation, they're not our enemies, they're our allies. They're all just out here, man, trying to make it just like we are. And know something, too, we got to get our communities back together, too. That's something very important. Strong communities scare the hell out of the powers that be. That's why they work so hard to keep us divided. They really don't want us all to get together and start powwowing and figure this shit out. You see, people, they can't divide and conquer if we stop being divided. A scattered crowd, right? A group of people, that's just a group of people, a lot of fucking noise. But a united crowd, sticking together, that becomes a force, people. That's a threat. To them, unity is a threat. And then and only then can we together collectively stop punching sideways at each other and finally start throwing some fucking punches upwards at them and getting some things in this country to start looking up again. We got to do that, people. We deserve that. Do we really want to tear up our whole fucking country over shit that we have the power to change? I hope not. I hope I'm not the only one who has a bright outlook. I say a lot of gloom and doom, and I feel it sometimes, and then other times I feel so fucking optimistic I could almost fly. And I think I flew a little bit earlier, but I'm not going to tell you about that. But anyway, hey, you got anything you want to say, you want to debate this, you want to talk about it further, please drop it down in the comments. Let's talk about it. And as always, I'm Unc. Take care of yourself and each other. Hey, kindness, love, respect. Show each other a little more of it. Be a better place. I'll catch you guys in the next one.